in the video.
Go ahead.
Since when do you guys follow rules? What is wrong? What is up with that?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Well, they're just here. They don't have.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So just so you guys know what we're doing, I don't know if you've seen, you've heard of my radio show, Uncensored Radio. Now I do a web series called Uncensored Talk. This is Uncensored Talk, but it's the live version. And Mr. Jason Arby's been kind enough to sit in. He's going to do a really quick, like 15-minute interview, and you guys actually get to see us tape it and do it live. And then I have a ton of really cool voice actors that are coming in right after him, and they're going to sit down, talk, and we will take a couple of fan questions, probably like one or two. So, you know, whoever gets that microphone first, they'll be the ones that get to ask. But it'll be fun, quick, and yay! I hope you enjoy it.
I love your Johnny Cash dude.
It'll go on forever. If you play that game with this guy, it'll go on forever.
Make the last noise game?
Oh, I know.
Yep.
Yeah. You won. You know what's funny though? He taught me a game. He's been at one point was my acting coach, so I was trying to get ready for this project. And he taught me this game where you always had to ask a question.
Oh.
And I was horrible at it. He won every time. And it's like, if he goes, what's your name? And then you have to come back with a question. And I can get my brain to wrap around that.
I actually stole it from Tom Stoppard, who used it in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Turner Dead. And there's some very basic rules. You can't answer with anything other than a question. And then there's hesitation. Like if you hesitate, then there's also...
And it's over, yeah.
So it goes something like this. What you up to, Karen?
Hesitation.
Hesitation.
I would lose. See, that's
Ready to run?
Yeah.
Statement. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Statement. Okay.
See, I promised that yes, I should have said question. See, I can't wrap my brain doesn't work that way.
Are you ready?
What time is it?
Non-sequitur. Okay, see, it's like beginners. Are you ready?
I'm not good at that. Stop it.
It's a bit that we use to work on comic timing.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those things like people ask, well, you know, do you need to have comic timing? Can you work on it? Well, yeah, you can work on it, you know. And there's no way to do it aside from just doing it, right?
No. And that's one of the things he's really good at. That's why I wanted to sit down and talk, because I know a lot of you always ask questions on how to become an actor and how do I get into this business. And what you don't realize is that people such as Jason Arby work really hard at being funny. So being Skull, being Bulk on the show was not something that just happened by accident. It wasn't that they were just zany guys. They actually are trained professional actors. So I'll open the show and we'll pick up this interview. Hey everybody, it's me, Karan, and I am here on Uncensored Talk. And guess who I have with me? My heart, my darling, darling, darling. Jason Arby is in the house. And we're at MorphiCon. How are you?
Are we playing questions?
No, we're not saying
Yeah, I'm doing well. MorphiCon is great. You know, MorphiCon is kind of unique. We do Comic-Con, and sometimes you can kind of hide at a Comic-Con. Get hired.
No.
They're looking for you.
Yeah, and they're all over the hotel, they're all over the convention center. If you go to the restaurant, they're in the restaurant. It is like 24-hour personal appearance, right?
Yeah, you're sort of like,
Hey, Skull. Hey.
so.
Did I tell you I got locked in a bathroom stall?
Oh, no.
And a fan had to save me. She actually had to help me open the door. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, of all the stalls in Pasadena Convention Center, I get locked in the one that doesn't open. So, yeah. Now, you won the hearts of many, many, many. You and Bulk. You and Polly won the hearts. Won the hearts as Bulk and Skull. And I always wondered, how did you guys get your hearts? I've heard many stories.
Right, well, okay, so Paulie was cast first, okay? I don't know the full casting process, but I can tell you how he became Bulk. He was cast for the original pilot of And for those of you who know, a pilot is actually, the thing that you use to sell to the network.
Yeah.
Most pilots will never ever see. Some series will say episode number 1 is called the pilot. That's not really true exactly.
Right.
So he was the original pilot. I think he was like bully number 2 or bully number 3. And he had one line, which was, "Hey man!" And the guy that played Skull was actually the leader.
Yeah.
He was actually really kind of intimidating. He was a stuntman in body. He was a big guy, kind of mincy, kind of, you're going to pay for this big time. I'm going to find you your sweet and cut your throat. Holy sweet. Well,
just what kids needed.
Well, when they decided they needed the boys to have more acting chops, I think Paulie had already endeared himself to the producers by the time they actually started filming principal photography. Because Paulie's one flag.
Absolutely.
He's a great theater actor. He's got great comic timing, and aside from that, he can be menacing. So
yes.
he can do both. So Skull became the sidekick. Well, unfortunately, Bobby was great with the sidekick because he was such a tough guy. And they decided to make those characters more funny. So that's.
Are we happy they decided to do that?
Yeah.
That's what it was. So when they actually, only a few days before they started filming the show, they're like, this isn't going to work. I think Larry Linton was saying that he suggested that we should be like the bad guys in those old 60s movies where they're really funny and they're bad. You don't want to see them come into any mischief. So they threw out they took a bunch of names that were on file. And I happened to have auditioned at one point for Billy way before that. And so they just happened to.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, a cattle call for they were calling Power Rangers at the time, at least this is what they were telling the casting agents. They were calling them Phantoms.
Right.
That's what the audition was for, the nerd in Phantoms. And you go in, you stand in front of the camera, and you go, "Hello, my name is Jason Nardu. I am the Calvin Arletta Agency." Next. I think I got that. That's a really good. And from that, you can get callbacks and all that stuff.
Right.
So what they did is they took my thing and they put it on file. So when they decided to get rid of Bobby, they went through their files, just five names, I would say. They took 5 resumes and photos. They went, this guy, that guy. I happen to be one of those guys. But this will show you where luck and preparation come in because they didn't quite know what they wanted for the role. So I said, I was going to let them figure it out. I was going to show them what they wanted. So I just threw all my improv skills at it. And Paulie, and so the next day they're like, "Come back. I want you to lead this man."
That's how all producers.
Here's the person. There's one in the door. And I'm like, "What the fuck was that?" And then Jonathan Support. I'm very disappointed.
And what about Shuki?
Shuki is I have this idea. Like, Shuki! One of those genius types. So,
yeah, genius.
But that's the thing, because Paulie and I had similar backgrounds in training, we really paired really well.
Yeah.
It's really miraculous, I gotta say.
Well, tell me, because this is the thing. People ask me all the time. I get emails, Facebook messages, in person, especially here at the cons. How do I get into acting? How do I do this thing? And I keep telling them, go to class. It's something I really believe in. And like you said, you didn't wait for them to tell you what the part was going to be like.
Exactly.
You created the part, but because you were so trained.
Exactly. It's about being prepared when the moment comes up. And if you think, hey, I've got a look, or I've got skills, or I have an ambition, so now I'm going to go and audition for the lead role in Terminator 5. What makes you think you're going to get it? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger's a great actor or anything like that.
Right.
So when people say, I want to become an actor, there's 2 things to really ask you whether they realize it or not. One, how do I become the business person that we refer to as an actor? A person who knows you need to network, you need to get headshots, you need to find an agent, you need to push yourself, you need to keep on social media. Marketing, all that stuff. You're a marketing genius.
Yes.
The other question they're asking is, how do I take words like this and make them into something that a human being would say in a compelling manner? And how do I make a drama that we call a film or TV show actually come to fruition? How do I do that? So you need to go to school for that. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I always say people go to work and they obviously get on the work training. You go to school, you learn how to read. If you're an athlete, you learn how to run every day. If you're an actor, you got to train the muscle.
You absolutely
Yeah.
You can't say I want to be an Olympic gymnast and then just show up at the Olympics like, "Hi, I'm here. Where's the bar?"
I got this.
Oh, here's the bar.
It'll never happen.
No.
Spandex always puts you immediately in the sexy category.
Sexy and awkward all at the same time. Like, I'm sexy. I'm really vulnerable right now.
But we have the money. And what was the moment that you knew, okay, wait, I'm on the #1 kids show in America. This is amazing.
Oh, God.
Because there was a lot of work. You guys were working on episodes, you were doing 15-hour days, and then all of a sudden, boom.
I think we found out at the set. I mean, I remember, we were all excited that it was just on TV, like, oh, look, there's commercials and our little dailies that we only see. So, I think someone told us on the set that the ratings were through the roof. And we're like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I found out last night, we were at a dinner, and it was with a mix of people. Tony Oliver was one of the people that were there. He goes, he once saw that there was on the, what is it, when they do the rating system, the Nielsen rating, it was a 99%, which meant 99% of the children in this one town that they surveyed were watching Power Rangers. And it was like the highest ever, it broke records. And so they threw it out because they were like, that can't be true. But it really was.
Yeah, and I think if I recall the story, they went back and it was. And for us, you got to remember, we were still in the middle of filming the season, okay? And we weren't exactly, we were treated well, but we weren't treated like royalty. We were treated like a bunch of young kids who made, $100 a week or something criminal. so when we got those ratings, we went, oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I'll go to the set now. So afterwards, I remember Hein had a sit-down meeting with everyone at the end of the season, which didn't come for another, I think, month or 3 weeks or something like that. He had to sit down in his office. And at that point, Salon was not a big company. It was like 2 floors in Burbank.
Right.
And not in a big building.
Yeah.
So he sat us all down and he said, well, and around this board table, we had these little stupid cups of ice cream. We're like, ooh, look at us. We have plastic cups of ice cream. Ice cream in a boardroom. My God, this is amazing. Oh my God, it's yours. But he didn't sit down. It was almost like crisis intervention. Like, guys, we have a major hit on our hands. I think there's going to be some big changes and a lot of things are going to be thrown at you and us. That was my highest water. I never could tell between that and my body and dog.
It's all the same.
So after that, we really kind of knew that, wow. So, although, first time you go out and somebody gives you the look, you're, hi, I'll have a cheeseburger and I'll have there's somebody.
Right.
Cheeseburger, run call. Here's a dime, go public house.
I instantly feel like, if somebody asks me what it feels like to be recognized, and I tell them, you instantly feel naked. You instantly feel like you have no clothes on because they're looking at you strangely.
We used to call it being a fishbowl, because you feel like you're swimming around with a cat just sitting above it.
Yeah. So this is the thing. A lot of people know, obviously, that you were on the TV show. So where can they find you? Because I know we want to see more of you. I know we get to see you, right? Where can they find you on social media? What shows do you have coming up?
Right. Well, I'm terrible with social media. I'll say it right now. So all that stuff about business, an actor's business.
The marketing.
Yeah, clearly the worst. Because I transitioned into directing, so I'm doing a lot of stage work in Chicago, actually. So
Nice.
if you want to find me on social media, you should probably go to my Facebook page. I got a personal page, which is full, and I also have a fan page, which is Jason Agar.
Nice. Like it.
Like it. You
Like
will like it.
Are you going to be at any upcoming conventions? Because I know these guys travel, and I've seen people from London, from Germany, from Australia. Where can they find you? Where can they see
Okay,
you?
I will be, Paulie and I will be in Birmingham in February. We will be at Lexington, Kentucky Con in
Birmingham in England, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Birmingham, not Birmingham. Let's show the business in Birmingham.
Yeah, we'll be over across the pond.
So those are the two.
The two.
Oh wait, and I also have one in like 2 or 3 weeks in Ventura.
Oh, I'll be there. We'll both be in Ventura in a couple weeks.
There you go.
Yay! So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's such a pleasure. My darling, Give it up for Jason
Oh,
Okay, so I'm gonna go get some voiceover actors. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Talk amongst yourself and get some questions ready because these guys are gonna be able to ask some questions.
No way. Get out of Pasadena.
I know. This time we're picking up the sound, just so you know.
Check.
So,
I like it. Somebody turn mayhem off. Man, is this the way we're going to start?
there you go.
Holy calamari.
Oh, I love that Rita. That's awesome.
Got very quiet.
I know. They know that we're filming. Are we gonna have like at least 2 people ask questions? Do we have? Okay.
Who came in furthest?
There they go.
Australia.
All right.
It's winter there.
Well done. How cold is it in Australia?
What time is it, anybody?
It is 11:24.
Awesome.
So which side, the Sydney side or?
Yeah, we're on the Sydney side right now, East Coast, but we're in a tiny little country town. It's about 4 hours away.
So beautiful. It's a long trip.
Yes, 13 hours over.
How many?
13.
13 hours, man.
I want to go see every rock. It's in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah,
It's like there's nothing else there.
pretty much, yes.
The aliens came down.
Are we ready? You're live, you know that.
Barbara got in a horrible car accident 4 blocks away yesterday morning. Her car was completely totaled, so
Are you serious?
please go by her booth and buy some stuff. They were uninsured. Even if you're going to buy my stuff, just pass me up and buy your stuff.
Oh,
I know. Gosh.
But they got you all right.
Yeah, I'm all right.
oh.
We ready? Hey, and welcome back to Uncensored Talk. This is Karan, and I've got some amazing people with me. These are the people who I feel like are the heart and soul of Power Rangers. These are some of the voices and some of the characters that made the Power Rangers work hard every week. From this side, I want you to introduce yourself and tell me what was your involvement on the show.
I'm Eddie Frierson. I did a zillion monsters throughout the years, but am best known for being the voice of Frax in Time Force.
Any of my darlings, sir.
I'm Rob Ratsworth. I did the voice of Ginster and
OC.
Hail Lord Zed!
You made us work very hard, and you, my love, you made us work hard as well.
Oh, yes, that was my job. Well, first of all, I was also Orbis and Sprocket and Mandela,
Yeah.
but I was Rita!
And my love, and how are you?
I'm lovely. What
Yeah.
time is it?
It's morphin' time.
Well, in that case, I want to kill them all.
You guys know Beauregard.
Gary Magnet, ladies and gentlemen, and that means the tortured soul of Magnet Defender. The tortured soul.
This is what I love about Power Rangers. We had superheroes, we had funny guys, but most of all, we had monsters. It's like your creativity and your voices are really. Oh, yeah. See, she's already trying to get me. See, you can't turn me back on this one.
Oh my god.
That's a leader.
Any clown in this place.
Who's this clown?
hey, watch it on the other side. Colby.
Oh.
And who were you and what character did you obviously play?
I played Clown. I played the Clown on the first season of Power Rangers, and it was one of those episodes that was seen a lot, so here I am.
So memorable. So memorable. But that's the thing. I think that was the cool it's like for each of you, because I mean, you guys, like you said, you did lots of voices, and this isn't like the only thing, but this is probably one of the biggest shows. But tell me, start down there.
Start over here. Well, myself, when I first went into the audition, I was told it was called Power Rangers. Had no idea what it was. My agent said it was something military karate. So, what the heck? I showed up in a green flight suit and went into a waiting room filled with clowns. I thought I had blown it, and so then I went into the audition, and they looked disappointed at me and said, "Hey, there's a clown audition." I said, "Yeah, I'm a clown. I can blow the doors off any person in that waiting room." And then we talked for a while, and I came back for a callback at the studio, walked in with full makeup, did a little voice reading, juggled, still walked, and they said, "Okay, you got the part."
Yay.
That's it.
Sweet. Yeah. Now for me, it's a little different because Time Force is a little bit further along in the whole franchise. We've all known each other for 30 years. I mean, it's hard to believe.
48.
Yeah, that's good. But when we worked together and all that, when the Power Rangers franchise was starting here, I wasn't available for the audition, so I wasn't part of that early thing. I was just called by who I said, "Hey, we've got a Monster of the Week for you." Okay, cool, it's a day's work. I went and did it. And so by the time Time Force came along, Scott Page-Pagter, he called me up and said, "Hey, I got this robot that I think you'd be right for." So it was just kind of given to me.
Wow.
And that's how that happened.
Nice.
Well, first I was just handed the role at the beginning of the show. Tony Oliver just picked me because he knew I could do the job. That's how all the beginning roles were given out on the voiceover side. Because we had been working with Spawn for like 9-10 years before that. I found Spawn in 1984. So this was 9 years later. So, but for Lord Zed, I had to audition 3 separate times to get this, all the people dying there, I guess. I imagine it's, when you do an audition, they send you a recording of your voice up the line, and there's like 10 producers, and they're all bobbleheads. They gotta get all the bobbleheads going up.
Yeah. Get them all on board.
So it took me 3 auditions to get all the bobbleheads going up and down in the right direction. So that's how I got the part of it.
Nice.
And are we glad he did it?
Yeah.
I have to say that Rita was one of my favorites. I mean, she was, I really understand to say that. What was that audition process like? Because she was so, she was obviously, there was a face to her, and I saw like an original episode from the Zoo Ranger, and your voice is completely different, actually much better and much more menacing. So how did that go?
Well, I was also given the role to begin with and told how to do it. And they said they wanted the Wicked Witch of the West. Very, standard witchy. But then they did this research thing where kids said, "That's not so scary," so they fired me.
Oh.
Really?
They fired me, and
You didn't know this?
yeah.
I didn't know this now. That's why I'm loving it.
Yeah. And I said, well, why don't you redirect me instead of fire me? I could do it scarier. And they said, no, we're going to have other people. And so I said, well, can I audition? And they said, okay. So I was pissed.
Yeah.
They give you a direction and then they fire you. So I went to the audition like angry. And I said, you want to scare him? I'm gonna scare him! Little did I know I'd be having to sustain that for 200 years, 2,000 years, 10,000 years.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
That's my story.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, good for you. What about you? If you've been around since, I have like...
Don't remind me.
No, I was gonna say, getting talks of Power Rangers. It was so interesting. Like I literally, like you guys know, I talk a lot, but I literally was quiet the whole dinner. Like I was just listening because it was so interesting to me, just the journey that you guys have been together. You know, it's like a family. You've been through so much. So
Marriages, divorces.
that's how
It's been a long 22 years.
Yeah.
But it's also like it was yesterday. And speaking of Austin, you know, he and I, we kind of bonded when the show started and on a lot of levels. And he came to me and, you know, this was over, you know, there's the money and the negotiating thing. And he said, what should I do? And we reminisced about all of that last night. It was really wonderful, wonderful time. Yeah. So, you know, not seeing him and hearing what he's been up to for the last 22 years. You know, he's the youngest ranger that was ever hired. Austin was 17 years old. Well, actually, he was 1 week from 18 years old.
Yeah.
But his contract says he was 18. It was a little post-dated thing that went on. But anyway, these are tales out of school.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, don't tell me. Which are you on? Are we rolling? Anyway, my story is no different really than anybody else's, respectful of how I got the role of Goldar. Goldar was actually not a character that Tony thought was going to amount to anything. So he kind of handpicked Squat and Babu and you know, Mallow and Sorich and Barbara. These were roles that were obviously very well established when they'd seen what footage they'd seen. But they hadn't seen later footage. So when people talk to me about, and Tony, you know, said, you go ahead and throw some nasty voice on that gold monkey. That we don't think is going to amount to much. Well, as it turned out, it amounted to plenty. And
Love Goldar.
yeah. So I had to figure out, you know, when episode 17, the flying partner, what is it? Green with evil.
Hey, ask Dominican, they know it all.
Yeah, no, you just turn to them and say, help me. What episode 32 was that line?
They'll recite the lines, they'll act
So Tony came to me. Tony, you know, again, as everybody's saying, oh, we all know each other all the time. We all came out of a show called Robotech.
Yeah.
And that's really where this little team of dubbers came from, that show. We were working, literally the show was working 24/7. I would walk out of a studio called Inner Sound when the sun was coming up, after having done not just Robotech, but all kinds of different shows, just jumping. There were 3 studios. It would just be pointed, now you go in and Tom Weiner's doing Around the World 80 Days. You're going to go in there and I'm playing some role in that, and used to start dubbing. And it was lovely. I mean, it was a great, what do you call it, journeyman? Like journeyman.
Yeah.
We were
Cut our teeth on that.
we cut our teeth there. And Tony Oliver, whether you know it or not, he was the lead. He played Rick Hunter. And that was, you know, he was a voice actor and an actor first. All of us are actors.
Yes,
And a singer.
Yeah, and singers. You know, I mean, there are two schools of voiceover, or 2 factions of voiceover. You come out of radio or you come out of acting. All of these people doing this work are from acting. We're all actors. So then Tony wound up being on the other side as a producer. But he knew all of our work very, very well. So when you asked about the audition process, you know, he handpicked us to do all of these things. And finally, I mean, like Magna Defender, I didn't audition for Magna. I was, you're doing Magna. And, you know, we're like a company, like an acting company. So then I
Old Hollywood.
Yeah,
You were a standard actor.
yeah, we were, you know, in-house studio actors. Then I realized
So this is the thing, I got from a lot of people, a lot of these kids. You know, obviously some of them want to be actors, some of them want to be in the production side, but a lot of them want to get into voiceover. And what is some of the advice, because you all have obviously sustained a career in voiceover, I mean, that's your bread and butter. How do you know, what's the advice that you tell them to prepare creating their characters or getting their demos ready or things like that?
Well, I always say make a list of what you think are your best roles, that are what your strong suit would be. And be honest with yourself. You can't do Australian accents, you know, don't say, oh, I can do everything, you know. Be honest with yourself, and also you have to take an acting class. Because if you can't act, you can't do voiceovers. And also, you know, being musical is good too. Timing.
A lot of timing.
A lot of voiceover people are singers.
Yeah.
Musical comedy or whatever, but you know, they know music. But I would say definitely get yourself into an acting class. And again, look at magazine copy. Look at things and write it down. See things on TV that you like and get your tape recorder out. Just start playing. Make it a game for yourself, first of all.
Yeah, you gotta really go into the development of these voices, even you know, kind of play with it, right?
Yeah, and women can do men, like, you know, every man does Sean Connery that
I can't.
except for Karan.
I can't do Scottish. I can't do Scottish.
But women can do, you know, you can imitate, don't limit yourself to saying, oh, that's the male voice, you know, because people have different kinds of rhythms in their voices, and just, you have to have a good ear.
Yeah, and so, well, there's no wrong answer, and there's tons of great advice.
Yeah.
But there's two things that I would say that you may not even think about. Once you do get hired, always be early. Never be, if you're on time, you're late.
Good advice.
And if you're early, you're on time. You know, it's that old adage. And be really good at it, because if you're quick and you can get it done in 1 or 2 takes, it saves them a ton of money because they're paying for the time. So if you're good, you will be back. And if you're reliable, you will be back.
Awesome. That's great advice.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Even if you want to be an actor, even if you want to be on production, it's like the first person on set is the one, you know, you gotta pay your dues. So is there ever a character that you didn't get that you were hoping? You were like, I put everything into the audition, I got so close.
Sure. 100 million of them.
Right.
Can I just finish up on that?
Yes, please.
I want to say something nobody ever answers. This how do you get into, and nobody ever answers what I'm going to say. Nobody ever has this answer. Your confidence, there's no room for nerves. Andy, I'm writing on his coattails right now, he just said, go in and do it good. They want you to get the part. They're not interested in going through dozens of people. They want to see that thing, that it, make it happen. But that's not the part that I didn't answer. Now I'm going to tell you the answer, the real answer, I think, that no one ever says. Get into where it's happening. Who is who? Where are the parties? Who's the right teacher? Not who's the best teacher. Who's the teacher? Who's the flavor? Where are the people that are going to be happening? Can you get in with that group? Roll with the in crowd, wherever it is. Don't do a play at some stupid theater. Do a play at the theater that everyone wants to do. It's at the Odyssey. Go audition at the Odyssey. That's where you want to be doing the play. So you get into the scene. Get in the scene. If you're in the scene and you start to get accepted in the scene, you're already rolling.
Nice. I agree. All the time. You guys take notes on this one?
It's going to be a test.
I want to take a question from the audience because I know you guys are up-and-coming actors, aspiring voiceover. You're wanting to get into all that stuff. So I want a question from you guys. You can get on the mic right there. Yep. Go right ahead. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Will, and I'm from New York.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Dallas.
And
once you came back onto the show, I was wondering what that process was like coming back for to work with Lord Zed and how you felt about Rita's makeover.
Oh, you mean from the Japanese footage to the American? Well, you know, when my part was over, I tried to campaign to become Rita, because I am an actor, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So with Tony's help, I got the costume, and I did my own audition, and I had a little card with me in the costume that said, "Out of work Empress seeks employment."
Can you believe this? She's auditioning. She's auditioning for the role that she's already made famous. This is crazy.
I know, welcome to Hollywood.
But they had a picture in their head that they wanted to do Rita. She looked Asian, she was Asian. They wanted to do someone who looked like her, but a younger version. And there's no way, you know, I gotta be honest with myself, I don't look Asian, you know, what can I say?
Come on.
You know, it's like,
So it's
I can be a woman, I can be taller, I can be... Anyway, but I was thrilled that they brought her back. And that was because of the fans saying, you know, they loved Zed.
Oh, yeah.
They loved him a little. They loved him a little bit there. But they decided to, I think they wanted it less sinister at one point, you know, so we became sort of like Lucy and Ricky.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of got really silly with it. So he got less sinister, and I got to be back on the show, so I was very happy. And I got to dub better because she was an English person, you know.
Yeah.
So it was not
And I was
hard.
getting lost in the shuffle.
I know. Well, you know, guys,
Wings got clipped.
I really thank you all for sitting down, doing Uncensored Talk. Thank you for, you know, talking about it. We have one last question. We'll go ahead and take that question.
Okay, first, damn, this is low mic. Anyway, first and foremost, Karen, you already know you're amazing. This isn't to say just about that. First
Thank
of all,
you.
you guys are the soundtrack to my childhood.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Power Rangers had so many layers, and you guys are such an intricate layer to the success of the show. What's your question?
My question was side note as well, man. That was actually the truest statement you could ever say about not only voiceovers, but anything as far as any career. Like, my wife just booked 2 voiceover gigs because of just that. Like, that's amazing.
Nice.
Aside from that, and I heard everything you said, Barbara, along those lines, what were some of the other super difficult things you guys dealt with on the cast and set of Power Rangers throughout you guys' tenure there?
You mean the behind the scenes yucky
Yes.
stuff?
I mean, all of that.
All the dairy.
We don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But there's always politics.
There's politics, but I have to say that what we did was we became a team, and this is a good tip. If you have a fight with those that are your bosses, and you have some leverage because you are sticking together, solidarity helps so much.
Yeah.
And that's how we got things, that's how we dealt with it. We dealt with it as a group, with one, you know.
And with no ego. No ego. There's no room for ego.
Yeah. So
Leave it at the door.
But you talk about solidarity and working together and all that stuff. It's been forever and it needs to be totally revamped. But way back in the day, we all got together and we negotiated the first ever foreign dubbing agreement with the Screen Actors Guild to create benefits for the journeyman actors who were doing the little jobs, the low
thanks to
budget.
Karan, he did a lot of work on that. A lot of work on that.
Let's go get a raise on that note.
I know. You guys are amazing. They're giving me the signal that we gotta go. So thank you so much for tuning in to Uncensored Talk. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Carl.
Film in silver and old. Hey, that's awesome. Give me a suit. I'm sorry, but they're only encoded in me. What does that mean? Don't worry, I got you covered. Tony, this helmet's really hot and oh my god, I'm burning up. I feel like Ghost Rider. Ah, your head is on fire.